Picture this. In specialized aquaculture facilities around the world, over 3 million sturgeons are swimming in carefully controlled environments, each one potentially worth thousands of dollars for their precious eggs. This ancient fish species, which has remained virtually unchanged for over 200 million years, now represents a $4 billion global luxury industry that produces the world's most expensive food by weight. What makes sturgeon farming so incredibly complex that it takes up to 20 years to produce a single serving of premium caviar? How do modern farmers raise these prehistoric giants that can live over 100 years and grow to weigh more than a small car? And what sophisticated industrial processes transform sturgeon eggs into the luxury caviar that sells for up to $10,000 per kilogram? Welcome to AgriCraft, where we explore the most fascinating and profitable agricultural enterprises from around the globe. Today we're diving deep into the exclusive world of sturgeon farming, a highly specialized form of aquaculture that combines cutting-edge agriculture technology with centuries-old traditions. From the temperature-controlled breeding facilities where baby sturgeons begin their decades-long journey to the sterile processing plants where precious caviar is harvested and packaged for the world's most exclusive restaurants, all will be revealed in this video. The story of sturgeon and caviar begins in the ancient waters of the Caspian Sea, where these magnificent fish have spawned for millions of years. Wild sturgeon populations once supported thriving fishing industries across Russia, Iran, and surrounding regions, producing the legendary beluga, osetra, and sevruga caviars that graced the tables of royalty and aristocrats throughout Europe. For centuries, caviar harvesting followed brutal traditional methods where mature female sturgeons were killed to extract their eggs. This practice, combined with overfishing, dam construction, and pollution, devastated wild sturgeon populations by the late 20th century. The Caspian Sea, which once produced 90% of the world's caviar, saw its sturgeon numbers collapse by over 90% in just 50 years. The crisis in wild sturgeon populations sparked a revolution in aquaculture that transformed caviar from a rapidly disappearing delicacy into a sustainable luxury product. The first successful sturgeon farming operations began in the 1980s in France and California, where innovative entrepreneurs realized they could raise sturgeons in controlled environments while developing techniques to harvest caviar without killing the fish. Today, farmed sturgeon operations exist on every continent except Antarctica, with major production centers in China, Italy, France, the United States, and Russia. China alone produces over 60% of the world's farmed caviar, operating massive aquaculture facilities that house millions of sturgeons across different species. These operations range from small family farms producing a few hundred kilograms annually to industrial-scale facilities processing tons of caviar each year. The economic transformation has been remarkable. What was once an industry dependent on dwindling wild populations has become a sophisticated agricultural enterprise supporting thousands of jobs and generating billions in revenue. Modern sturgeon farms can produce consistent, high-quality caviar while contributing to conservation efforts that are slowly rebuilding wild populations through breeding and release programs. The complexity of sturgeon farming extends far beyond typical aquaculture operations. These ancient fish require specific water conditions, specialized nutrition, and incredibly patient management since most species don't reach sexual maturity until they're between 8 and 20 years old. This means farmers must maintain perfect conditions for decades before seeing any return on their investment. Different sturgeon species require different approaches to cultivation. Beluga sturgeons, which produce the most expensive caviar, can take 20 years to mature and may live over 100 years in captivity. Osetra sturgeons mature faster at around 12 to 15 years, while Siberian sturgeons can be ready for caviar production in just 7 to 10 years. Farmers must choose species based on their financial capacity to wait for maturity and their target market segments. Modern sturgeon farming begins with selecting breeding stock from the highest quality genetic lines available. Professional sturgeon farmers work with specialized hatcheries that maintain broodstock populations of proven genetics for egg production, growth rates, and caviar quality. The initial investment in quality breeding stock can exceed $100,000 for a serious commercial operation. The breeding process itself requires sophisticated environmental control systems. Sturgeon reproduction is triggered by precise changes in water temperature and photoperiod that mimic natural seasonal cycles. Hatchery specialists manipulate these environmental factors using computerized systems that gradually adjust conditions over months to induce spawning behavior in mature adults. Fertilized sturgeon eggs are incredibly delicate and require constant monitoring in specially designed incubation systems. Water quality parameters including temperature, dissolved oxygen, pH, and flow rates must remain within narrow ranges to ensure successful hatching. Professional hatcheries achieve hatching rates of 80 to 90% under optimal conditions. Newly hatched sturgeon larvae are microscopic and require specialized nutrition during their first weeks of life. They initially feed on their yolk sacs, then transition to specially formulated starter feeds that provide the precise nutritional requirements for healthy development. The mortality rate during these early stages can be high, making expert management critical for commercial success. The grow-out phase begins when juvenile sturgeons reach fingerling size at several months of age. At this stage, they're transferred to larger rearing systems where they'll spend the next several years growing toward marketable size. The infrastructure required for sturgeon grow-out represents the largest investment in most farming operations. Sturgeon farming facilities utilize various systems including recirculating aquaculture systems, pond culture, and cage farming in natural water bodies. Recirculating systems offer the highest level of environmental control but require significant energy inputs for pumping, filtration, and temperature regulation. These systems can maintain optimal conditions year-round regardless of external weather conditions. Water quality management in sturgeon farming requires constant vigilance. These fish are sensitive to ammonia, nitrites, and other metabolic waste products that accumulate in closed systems. Advanced filtration systems including biological filters, protein skimmers, and ozonation equipment work continuously to maintain water quality within acceptable parameters. Temperature control represents one of the most critical aspects of sturgeon cultivation. Most commercial species prefer water temperatures between 15 and 20 degrees Celsius, requiring heating systems in colder climates and cooling systems in warmer regions. The energy cost for temperature control can represent 30 to 40% of total operating expenses in some facilities. Nutrition management in sturgeon farming involves specialized feeds formulated specifically for these ancient fish. Commercial sturgeon feeds contain high levels of protein from fish meal and other marine sources, along with carefully balanced lipids, vitamins, and minerals. Feed represents the largest ongoing expense in sturgeon farming, often accounting for 50 to 60% of production costs. Feeding protocols vary by species and life stage, but generally involve multiple daily feedings using automated feeding systems. These systems distribute precise amounts of feed at scheduled intervals, ensuring optimal nutrition while minimizing waste that could degrade water quality. Advanced farms use underwater cameras to monitor feeding behavior and adjust rations accordingly. Growth monitoring involves regular sampling and weighing of fish populations to track development and identify any health issues. Sturgeon growth rates vary significantly by species, water temperature, and nutrition quality. Under optimal conditions, some species can reach several pounds within their first year, while others grow more slowly, but ultimately achieve larger adult sizes. Disease prevention in sturgeon farming relies primarily on maintaining optimal environmental conditions and biosecurity measures. These ancient fish are generally hardy but can be susceptible to bacterial infections, parasites, and viral diseases under stress conditions. Professional operations maintain relationships with aquaculture veterinarians and implement quarantine procedures for new fish introductions. The maturation process represents the ultimate test of patience for sturgeon farmers. Determining when female sturgeons are ready for caviar production requires expertise and specialized techniques. Ultrasound technology allows farmers to non-invasively assess egg development and estimate the optimal timing for caviar extraction without harming the fish. Harvesting caviar from live sturgeons represents one of the most significant advances in modern aquaculture technology. Traditional methods required killing the fish to access the eggs, but innovative techniques now allow farmers to extract caviar while keeping valuable breeding stock alive for multiple harvests throughout their lifetime. The caviar extraction process begins with carefully anesthetizing mature female sturgeons using approved fish anesthetics that render them unconscious without causing harm. Professional caviar technicians then make precise incisions to access the egg masses while monitoring the fish's vital signs throughout the procedure. This delicate surgery requires specialized training and sterile techniques. Once extracted, Fresh caviar undergoes immediate quality assessment to determine grade and market value. The finest caviars feature uniform egg size, consistent color, firm texture, and clean flavor profiles without any off tastes or odors. Expert graders evaluate multiple characteristics including egg diameter, color intensity, and shell firmness to assign quality ratings. Transportation from farm to processing plant requires careful temperature control and gentle handling to preserve caviar quality. Fresh caviar is extremely perishable and must be processed within hours of extraction to maintain optimal characteristics. Most commercial sturgeon farms operate their own processing facilities to maintain control over quality and timing. The industrial processing of caviar combines traditional artisanal techniques with modern food safety standards and automated systems. Processing plants designed specifically for caviar production maintain pharmaceutical-grade cleanliness standards while employing skilled technicians trained in traditional caviar preparation methods. Initial processing begins with gentle washing using precisely chilled saline solutions that remove any blood or tissue remnants while preserving the delicate egg structure. This washing process requires expert timing, as excessive washing can damage eggs while insufficient cleaning affects final product quality and shelf life. Salt curing represents the most critical step in caviar processing, transforming fresh sturgeon eggs into the luxury delicacy consumers recognize. Master caviar producers use specially selected sea salt that's been tested for purity and mineral content. The salt concentration and curing time directly affect the final flavor profile and texture of the finished caviar. The salting process involves gently mixing precise amounts of salt with fresh caviar using specialized equipment designed to minimize egg breakage. Traditional wooden spoons and screens are still used in many operations, as metal tools can impart unwanted flavors and damage delicate eggs. The salt concentration typically ranges from 3 to 5% by weight. Curing time varies by caviar type and intended storage life, ranging from just a few minutes for the freshest products to several hours for longer shelf life varieties. During curing, the salt draws moisture from the eggs while penetrating the shells to preserve the caviar and develop its characteristic flavor profile. Quality control procedures during processing involve continuous monitoring by trained specialists who evaluate color, texture, flavor, and overall appearance. Advanced processing plants employ laboratory testing to verify salt content, moisture levels, and microbiological safety. Any batches that don't meet strict standards are rejected or downgraded to lower market categories. Modern processing plants utilize stainless steel equipment and controlled atmosphere environments to maintain product quality and meet international food safety standards. Temperature control throughout processing keeps caviar at optimal temperatures just above freezing while preventing freezing damage that would destroy the delicate egg structure. Grading systems classify processed caviar into multiple quality categories based on egg size, color, uniformity, texture, and flavor characteristics. The highest grades command premium prices in luxury markets, while lower grades may be used for restaurant applications or specialty food products. Professional graders require years of experience to consistently evaluate caviar quality. Advanced processing facilities now incorporate automated systems for certain operations including washing, draining, and packaging, while maintaining handcrafted techniques for critical quality determining steps. These hybrid approaches combine efficiency with artisanal quality standards demanded by luxury consumers. The packaging stage transforms processed caviar into retail-ready luxury products that preserve quality during distribution and storage. Caviar packaging requires specialized containers, precise portion control, and sophisticated labeling systems that communicate the premium nature of the product to discerning consumers. Traditional caviar packaging utilizes specially designed tins made from materials that won't impart flavors or react with the delicate product. These containers feature tight-fitting lids that create near-vacuum conditions to extend shelf life while protecting against contamination. Premium caviar often comes in individually numbered tins that ensure traceability and authenticity. Modern packaging operations employ automated systems that precisely weigh and portion caviar into standardized container sizes ranging from small consumer portions of 30 grams to large commercial containers of 1 kilogram or more. These automated packaging systems maintain strict hygiene standards while ensuring consistent portion weights and presentation. Vacuum packaging technology removes air from containers to extend shelf life and maintain optimal texture during storage and shipping. Advanced packaging systems use inert gas atmospheres that replace oxygen with nitrogen or other gases that prevent oxidation and maintain product quality for extended periods. Labeling systems for caviar products include detailed information about species, origin, harvest date, processing methods, and storage instructions. Export products require additional labeling compliance with international regulations and may include multiple languages for global distribution. Many premium brands use sophisticated anti-counterfeiting measures including holographic seals and unique identification codes. Cold storage facilities maintain precise temperature control throughout the packaging and distribution process. Caviar storage requires temperatures between -2 and 0 degrees Celsius, just below fresh water's freezing point but above the temperature that would freeze the eggs and destroy their texture. Distribution logistics for caviar involve complex cold chain management systems that maintain product quality from processing plant to final consumer. Refrigerated transportation vehicles with temperature monitoring systems ensure optimal conditions during shipping, while tracking systems provide real-time information about product location and condition. The global distribution network for premium caviar includes specialty food retailers, high-end restaurants, luxury hotels, and direct-to-consumer sales through online platforms. Major export markets include the United States, European Union countries, Japan, and emerging luxury markets in Asia and the Middle East. International shipping requirements include extensive documentation for customs clearance, health certificates from government inspection agencies, and compliance with CITES regulations that govern international trade in sturgeon products. Many processing facilities maintain certifications for multiple international markets to serve diverse global customers. Domestic distribution channels serve both retail and food service markets with different packaging formats and service levels. Retail packages typically focus on consumer convenience and gift presentation, while food service packaging emphasizes portion control and cost-effectiveness for restaurant operations. Storage and inventory management systems track product age and ensure proper rotation of highly perishable inventory. Computerized systems monitor storage conditions and alert managers to any temperature deviations or other factors that might compromise product quality during the distribution process. The sturgeon farming industry generates valuable byproducts that contribute to overall operation profitability and sustainability. Sturgeon meat represents a significant secondary product that's prized for its firm texture and mild flavor. This high-quality protein source commands premium prices in specialty seafood markets and helps offset the long investment period required for caviar production. Sturgeon leather processing transforms the fish's skin into luxury leather products used for handbags, shoes, and accessories. The unique texture and durability of sturgeon leather make it valuable for high-end fashion applications, providing additional revenue streams for integrated processing operations. Gelatin production from sturgeon swim bladders creates isinglass, a clarifying agent used in wine and beer production. This traditional product remains in demand among craft beverage producers who prefer natural clarifying agents over synthetic alternatives. From a culinary perspective, premium caviar requires careful handling and presentation to showcase its delicate flavors and textures. Traditional service involves mother-of-pearl spoons that won't impart metallic flavors, while modern presentations may include temperature-controlled serving dishes that maintain optimal conditions throughout the dining experience. Nutritional analysis reveals that caviar provides exceptional concentrations of omega-3 fatty acids, high-quality protein, and essential vitamins and minerals. A single-ounce serving contains significant amounts of vitamin B12, selenium, and other nutrients that support cardiovascular and neurological health. The environmental impact of modern sturgeon farming represents a significant improvement over historical wild harvesting practices that devastated natural populations. Closed-system aquaculture prevents genetic mixing with wild stocks while producing consistent caviar supplies without impacting remaining wild sturgeon populations. Sustainability efforts in sturgeon farming include conservation breeding programs that maintain genetic diversity and support wild population restoration efforts. Many commercial farms participate in research programs that study sturgeon biology and develop improved cultivation techniques that benefit both commercial operations and conservation initiatives. Water recycling systems in modern sturgeon farms minimize environmental impact while reducing operational costs. Advanced treatment systems clean and reuse water multiple times, dramatically reducing freshwater consumption compared to flow-through systems that discharge water after single use. Energy efficiency improvements in sturgeon farming include solar power systems, heat recovery equipment, and automated management systems that optimize energy consumption. These technologies help reduce the carbon footprint of caviar production while improving economic sustainability for farming operations. From the carefully controlled breeding facilities where sturgeon begin their decades-long journey to maturity, through the sterile processing plants where precious caviar is transformed into luxury culinary products, we've witnessed one of agriculture's most exclusive and patient enterprises. This industry represents a remarkable transformation from an extractive practice that nearly destroyed wild sturgeon populations into a sustainable aquaculture system that produces luxury food while supporting conservation efforts. The journey from juvenile sturgeon to finished caviar demonstrates the extraordinary commitment required for ultra-premium agricultural products. Unlike conventional farming with seasonal cycles, sturgeon farming requires decades of careful stewardship before farmers see returns on their investments. This patience and dedication create products that command some of the highest prices in global food markets. The industrial scale of modern sturgeon farming and caviar processing showcases how traditional luxury products can be sustainably produced using advanced agriculture technology. From automated feeding systems that optimize nutrition for millions of fish to precision processing equipment that maintains artisanal quality standards, this industry proves that technology and tradition can work together to create extraordinary products. What makes sturgeon farming particularly impressive is its role in species conservation while meeting growing demand for luxury foods. Every farmed sturgeon represents reduced pressure on wild populations while contributing to research that supports conservation breeding programs and habitat restoration efforts. The sophistication required throughout the sturgeon farming process, from genetic selection to final packaging, demonstrates the complexity of modern specialty aquaculture. This industry shows how agricultural entrepreneurs can create highly profitable enterprises by focusing on ultra-premium products that justify the substantial investments required for success. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating exploration of sturgeon farming and luxury caviar production. If you found this deep dive into exclusive aquaculture as captivating as we did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to AgriCraft for more comprehensive looks at the world's most unique and profitable agricultural enterprises. Leave a comment below if you'd like to see more luxury food production content, or if you have questions about specialty aquaculture practices we covered today. Until next time, keep exploring the incredible diversity and innovation in modern agriculture.